Hi guys, today we're going to talk about ionic compounds. Now, this is the second video in the series, so make sure you watch the first one. If this is the first one you're watching, you're doing it wrong. Okay, today we're going to go over formula to name. So in the other video we went name to formula, now we just need to flip-flop it. Okay, the rules are going to be very similar, but let's just make sure we go over them so we understand what the rules are. Okay, so when I'm doing a formula to a name, I'm starting off with my symbols. So if I had potassium chloride, it would look like this, KCl. And I want to get it to the name. Okay, so let's forget about this right now, and let's move on and let's actually do one. So my first rule is I want to name my metal first. Okay, so whichever one is most like a metal, which is ionic compounds, we have one that is a metal. The metal goes first. Now, I am not going to change its name at all. So if I have magnesium, it's going to be magnesium. If I have sodium, it's sodium. So I want to put in here in my rules, name as is. Okay, we're just going to leave it alone. All right, if the metal is transitional, transition. Oh, is that right, Zach? Zach, that's ugly. I can't even spell today. Transition. No, I have an extra T. Why do I have an extra T, Zach? Transitional. Kid spelling is not my strong suit. It's okay. I've seen your spelling. It's not good either. So, transitional. If it's a transition metal, so it's one of those ones that are in the middle. If it's one of their metalloids, you need to make sure you do a double check on your periodic table. So when you look on your periodic table, it's got several oxidation numbers. So we're going to check oxidation number. And I'll show you in class what that is. So we're going to look at the oxidation number. Basically, that's just our charge number. Those have multiple charges, and we're going to have to do stuff with those. If it has more than one oxidation number, if more than one, and this is what we saw in the other video, we use Roman numeral. And I'm going to abbreviate that with RN. RN is Roman numeral. So, here's how we get through the metals. That is our first step. That is the first thing we name. Metal first. Okay, the next one we want to name is our nonmetal. So name nonmetal. Now, with the nonmetals though, we have an extra rule. Up here we name the metal as is. Here we can't name them as is. We have to do something to it. And that is drop the ending. Change to IDE. Oxygen becomes oxide. Chlorine becomes chloride. Fluorine becomes fluoride. You get the picture. We're going to see lots of ides here. Okay, it's going to be fun. We're going to get with it. With the number of practice problems we're going to be doing, you won't have a problem figuring that out. Okay, the last thing I want to cover is if polyatomic. Now remember in the last video we talked about polyatomic mini atoms. If it's a polyatomic, we name as is. So some of my polyatomics, carbonate. Okay, I couldn't change my ending from carbonate to carbonide. That just wouldn't fit right. We would leave it as carbonate. Sulfate would remain as sulfate, so on and so forth. So again, we're going to be looking at polyatomics next week. This is going to start making more sense once